Asterisk, the old neon sign of the Riverside Motel flickered against the October darkness, casting pink and blue shadows across the empty parking lot. Margaret Chen had been working the night shift here for 12 years now, ever since her husband passed, and she needed something to fill the quiet hours between midnight and dawn. Asterisk, at 62, Margaret had learned that the night shift suited her just fine. The world was calmer then, more honest somehow. People who checked in at 3 a.m. weren't putting on airs or making demands. They were usually just tired souls looking for a clean bed and a moment's peace. Asterisk, she was restocking the supply cart when she heard it. A soft thudding sound from room 237, followed by what sounded like someone calling for help. Margaret paused, her hand still on the stack of fresh towels. In all her years here, she'd learned to trust her instincts about when something wasn't quite right. Asterisk, the thudding came again, weaker this time. Asterisk, Margaret knocked gently on the door. "Sir, are you all right in there?" Asterisk, a voice, strained and shaky, called back. "Please, I think I need help." He was pale as winter moonlight, beads of sweat covering his forehead despite the cool night air. Like a lost child, despite his obvious wealth. Asterisk, "My name's Margaret," she said softly, kneeling beside him. "My chest feels tight, and I can't seem to catch my breath." Asterisk, Margaret had raised 3 children and helped care for her elderly mother before she passed. She knew panic when she saw it, but she also knew when someone was genuinely unwell. David was both. Asterisk, "Let's get you sitting up against the bed," she said, her voice carrying the same gentle authority she'd used with her own family for decades. "That's it. Now tell me, when did you last eat something?" Asterisk, David tried to think. "Yesterday morning, I think. Maybe the day before. It's been a difficult few days." Asterisk, Margaret noticed the small white boutonniere pinned to his lapel, baby's breath, and a single white rose. Wedding flowers. Questions could wait. Instead, she went to her supply cart and returned with a bottle of water and the sandwich she'd packed for her own dinner break. Asterisk, "You're going to eat this," she said firmly but kindly, "and drink some water." Slowly now, asterisk, as David ate, color gradually returned to his cheeks. Margaret sat in the room's single chair, giving him space, but staying close enough that he knew he wasn't alone. Asterisk, "Better?" she asked after a while. Asterisk, he nodded, looking embarrassed. "I'm sorry, I don't usually." Asterisk, "Who what? Who gets overwhelmed? Who needs help?" Margaret's smile was warm. "Honey, we all need help sometimes." Asterisk, David looked at her then. Really looked, as if seeing her for the first time. Here was this woman, probably someone's grandmother working the night shift at a budget motel. And she'd shown him more genuine kindness in 20 minutes than he'd experienced in years of high society gatherings. Asterisk, "Can I ask you something?" he said quietly. Asterisk, "Of course." Asterisk, "How do you know when you're making the right choice? When everyone around you is telling you what you should do, but it doesn't feel right in your heart?" Asterisk, Margaret was quiet for a moment, thinking of her own life, the choices she'd made, the ones she'd been forced into. "I think we spend too much time worrying about disappointing other people. At my age, I've learned that the choices you can live with are usually the ones that feel true to who you are, not who everyone else wants you to be." Asterisk, David's eyes filled with tears. "I was supposed to get married today," he said. "Yesterday, I guess it is now. Big wedding, hundreds of people, my father's business partner's daughter. Everything planned perfectly." Asterisk, "But," Margaret prompted gently. Asterisk, "But I don't love her, and she doesn't love me. We're just ... convenient for our families." I stood there in that church, looking at all those faces, and I realized I was about to promise to spend my life with someone I barely knew, just because it's what was expected. Asterisk, "So you left." Asterisk, "I left. Got in my car and just drove. I've been driving for 2 days, sleeping in the car mostly, until I couldn't anymore." He gestured around the modest room. "This isn't exactly the Ritz, but it felt ... honest somehow." Asterisk, Margaret nodded. "Sometimes the simplest places hold the most truth." Asterisk, they sat in comfortable silence for a while. The tightness in his chest had eased, replaced by something he hadn't felt in years. ... Peace. Asterisk, "What will you do now?" Margaret asked. Asterisk, "I don't know." My father will be furious. There will be consequences, business deals that might fall through, relationships that might be damaged. But for the first time in my adult life, I feel like I can breathe. Margaret stood and smoothed down her uniform. Well, David Morrison, I think you're braver than you give yourself credit for. It takes courage to choose your own path, especially when it disappoints people you care about. What if I'm making a terrible mistake? What if you're not? She countered gently. What if this is the first completely honest thing you've done in years? David stood too, steadier now. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out his wallet, but Margaret held up her hand. Put that away, she said. You needed help, and I helped. That's what neighbors do. But I want to. I mean, you've done so much, ... You want to do something for me. Go out there and live a life that makes you proud to wake up every morning. That's payment enough. Thank you, *. She paused at the door. You know, David, I've been working nights for a long time now. I've seen all kinds of people come through those doors. Some are running from something, some are running toward something. The ones who find what they're looking for are usually the ones who stop long enough to listen to their own hearts. 3 months later, Margaret was surprised to receive a letter addressed to her at the motel. Inside was a photograph of David, smiling genuinely for what looked like the first time in years, standing beside a modest house with a Habitat for Humanity sign in the yard. He was wearing work clothes instead of an expensive suit, and his hands were dirty from honest labor. The letter was brief but heartfelt. Dear Margaret, I wanted you to know that I took your advice. I'm living a life I'm proud of now. I left my father's company and started a non-profit helping build homes for families in need. It doesn't pay much, but I wake up every morning excited about the work ahead. I also met a teacher, who volunteers with us on weekends. Her name is Sarah, and when I look at her, I understand what love actually feels like. We're taking things slowly, building something real. Thank you for showing me that kindness costs nothing but means everything. You probably don't remember me, but I'll never forget you. With gratitude, David *. Margaret folded the letter carefully and tucked it into her uniform pocket. Outside, the neon sign flickered its familiar pink and blue pattern against the darkness. She had 4 more hours left on her shift, and she found herself looking forward to whatever the night might bring. Sometimes, she reflected, the most important moments in our lives happen in the most unexpected places. Sometimes an angel wears a cleaning uniform and works the night shift at a roadside motel. And sometimes all it takes to change someone's life forever is a sandwich, a bottle of water, and the simple recognition that we all need help sometimes. That's what makes us human after all. That's what makes us kind.